what's that sound? It's aliens and they're living in your town. They have arrived. They're all around. So many aliens living in your town.
Hello, my sweet weirdos out there in Weirdo Land. We got a full show. We have a full house. And how the hell is everyone doing?
Fantastic.
Yeah, doing well.
Yeah.
Drinking like it's Friday.
What? Say this again, Beckett?
Drinking like it's Friday.
Oh, Beckett. Already with the quips. I like it. It's going to be a good podcast. Let me hear that, audience. Woo, everybody. Yeah. We got a Joe Ponton, man on the street. We're going to talk to him a little bit about... He had that discovery on the beach where he thought he found a human spine or human bones of sorts. Now, if you don't know who Joe Ponton is, he's a close friend of the show. He also loves to find dead bodies. He's got 2 career bodies under his career stats. Trust me, he wants to find a 3rd. He wants it. That's the book deal.
I mean, that's the hat trick.
That's the talk show. And we all agree it's going to be me. Hey, May. Yeah.
He's gonna be like, "Hey, what's up, Bird? What are you doing today?" He opens the door,
And I'm gonna be deader than anyone's ever been dead in the history of dead.
like laying in water somehow.
In the bird's nest? Is that where he's going to find you?
In the bird's nest, Beckett. I like it. I love it. And Vicky, how the hell are you doing?
I'm doing good. No school, no responsibilities.
Oh yeah,
I
that's
can
right.
tell you sound pretty hype.
Yeah, well, for me, yeah.
Do you want a drink?
No.
Okay, I love it. She doesn't need alcohol.
Don't need it.
But it's fun. Just kidding. Alcohol, it's a topic we could get to. We have a lot of topics. Someone called out the KVJ show. We do too many alcohol, weed bits. Denny's, I'm sure you saw the comments.
I did. I printed the email.
Denny's is spearheading half of those bits.
It's funny because I'll print up a lot of the emails that come in and I bring them to Kevin and I see them a little bit before you guys do and I laugh because I want to see how you guys react to them.
One of my most favorite things about being on the KVJ show behind the scenes is when somebody calls into the show and has to yell about something Virginia said or something
they're, like,
I said.
hassling me about some shit.
Yes. They give him the fucking business, and Denny's is so sweet and peaceful.
It's so early too for them to be that angry.
It's like, fuck you and your show.
A lot of times they'll call in and they'll be like, I don't often call in and I'm not trying to be like that, but you got to tell Virginia to stop. Like they'll say stuff like that. They go, it's so early. We're all on our way to work. And she's just, what she's saying is so wrong. They'll say stuff like that.
That's great.
Oh, it's pretty good. Yeah, I walked in one day and this woman called in and she was just screaming about something I'd said, and every woman that listens to the show hates when I talk or brings up kids or relationships. I make every single woman cringe, Beckett. Every single one. I don't know where she took the time to do that data and survey. That's a lot of work. But, but we put it on speakerphone, and it was the funniest shit.
So if we're on break, like when the mics go off, it'll go into commercials, and Kevin's kind of running that. Bert will often walk into like our chambers, which is off to the side, and Virginia often will wander the halls, get a water or something, or sometimes just stay in the room. But like, so in cases where I see them coming out and we just happen to line up, I'll put it on speakerphone so everyone can hear it. There's no one else at the station. It's just, you hear people just ranting. Sometimes you just feel like maybe something they said is the catalyst that got them just going.
Yeah, Virginia just goes, and you know what? Get in the bushes, and men are cheaters. And that guy's like, I never cheated, and she left me.
Exactly.
Fuck this place.
What I, in my opinion, I don't think a lot of people appreciate, most shows aren't live. Most shows, like on TV, movies, like it's edited, it's reshot, all that thing. When you're live, like, you're just going on the fly. And, like, I think you got to give a little bit more of a handicap for that, not give people such a tough time. Even comedians. Comedians is probably arguably the toughest job that exists. But they can start out at a local comedy improv. They can work out their material until they get their Netflix special. You guys don't have that luxury. You guys are giving fresh, new content from the hip, genuine personality. It's hard.
When that happens, you are going to definitely get a percentage of bombs and shitty material. And when you're live, you have to talk so much. There's a lot of shit that does not work.
It's like those 24-hour dance-a-thons.
It's part of the game, man. It's like 9:30 on a Thursday, and you're so tired. You're like, you throw something out there, you know it doesn't work. And like, just move along.
What's the industry
Move along.
jargon when I said something? Some things. I was you guys say dump it, where you guys have to like
Dump.
There's a delay.
If all of a sudden Vicki goes, fuck this KVJ show, Kevin's got to dump it, and then that's that dump. I think we have an 18-second dump or a 10-second dump.
Yeah, it's 10. It used to be 12.
When I was at Wild 95.5, it was a 3-second dump.
Oh, wow.
Which is,
Oh, wow,
you would get 2 of those.
That's terrible.
You're still mid sentence.
Maybe it was 5 seconds. It was no long. I remember it being pretty darn quick. And Vicki, if you don't know, you only get 2. So if you got on live on the air and just went on this big tirade, swearing left and right, and we kept you on, and we hit the dump button, and we kept you on, we hit it twice. That's all we get for a good amount.
Yeah.
Until it has to reset, Denny's?
Yeah, so they changed it. It used to be so stealthy. Over the next hour, it slowed down the audio just a little bit so that it could buffer up, till it got back into normal time. But it would, you could subtract up to 10 seconds.
Wow.
I do want to take the time to welcome all the weirdos that are in the chat room. Give it up for our weirdos. And if you're listening a couple days later, let's say you're in the car. You're having a bad day. I'm talking to you, my friend. Turn up the volume. Relax. Becky just took off his shirt. I know you can't see it. It's hot. It's real hot. Let's just jump right into it. Vicki, let's start it off with some Ask Vicki. Ask Vicki. We are going to work on it. I promise. We're going to get an official theme song. It's going to happen.
I know I better get a song before Beckett does for his segment.
You're definitely going to get a song before Becky.
Absolutely.
You've earned that right, damn it.
Becky gets the last song.
Becky gets the last song.
I mean, we're talking.
I like Transformers.
a year.
Robots in disguise.
I love it. I love it, Becky. Is that whiskey working already?
Yeah.
I love it. So when we ask Vicki, Vicki is our resident awesome psychic medium. She's also a head ghost investigator for a ghost team. She's got the goods. She's got the knowledge. Dear Weird Whatever, Vicki, why do babies and animals typically have paranormal experiences?
Because before the age of 7, we are more open to the spirit world. Before that time, no one tells you. You have babies who aren't communicating. So they're not saying that, my deceased grandma's in the corner. They're just over there smiling and laughing. So you aren't telling them that there's nothing there. By the age of 7, you have told them way too many times that there is not a monster under the bed. And so then we start to shut off our psychic ability.
Boy, what a little small sample of just life in general. It's kind of wears you down, beats you down from all your innocence and hope. And by 7, you go, fuck this world.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what happens around 7.
Around
you start
7
to lose.
seems 7 seems to be the point. Now, if you have a kid that's continuing, that's a truly, truly gifted child.
Do we call that a rainbow child?
There's a lot of different. There's rainbow, there's indigo, there's crystal, there's all kinds of children like that.
Beckett, and it always turns into a ghost fight. You're right. People get caught up on the terms.
Right.
But could a rainbow child technically be 12 years old?
Yeah, I mean, if you're a rainbow child, you're always a rainbow child.
Oh, okay. I like that. I like that nugget.
Yeah.
I find it ironic because that's around the time that you were pumping these kids full of Tooth Fairy and Santa Claus. And at 7, 8, 9 is when you tell them Santa Claus.
Take it easy, Beckett.
Yeah.
Remember we talked about this? There's
That's
a
right.
rule.
Dump it.
In
Very good, Becky, with the callback.
Didn't I scold you about this before?
Yeah,
there's a golden rule in radio. At least maybe they don't practice it anymore.
I think they
and I don't think kids shouldn't be listening to this podcast. They should
no,
not.
definitely
So
not.
if a kid is listening, turn this off in 5, 4, 3. All right. You are not ever supposed to say there's no Santa Claus.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, then we hammer them down with that there's no spirituality. It's crazy.
I cannot tell you how much I agree with the whole philosophy. My personal opinion, I was pretty devastated. I mean, devastated, angry, and pissed when I found out my parents were lying to me about certain creatures that were existing. I was late to the game.
It's probably the first major betrayal that you have as a human.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, it made me, and it called me a cynical dick, but it made me go, okay, so that's fake, and that other shit you told me was fake. That was all magical, and we prepared for a month and a half for it. Oh, that other thing was fake, and now you want me to believe in this? I mean, how many times are you going to fuck me over until I finally go, all right, I'm going to just kind of work this out on my own?
I just noticed the shirt you're wearing. I didn't realize that.
Shit, me too! Oh my God! I'm wearing a Santa Claus shirt. Look, dog, I got much love for Santa.
Yeah.
I'll probably get in trouble just for even. Again, if kids are listening to this, that's on y'all. Seriously, you guys gotta. Vicky, thoughts on what we were just talking
See,
about?
I think the opposite. When I found out certain things had been told to me, I was like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for making everything so magical for me. So I was not mad. I was not upset. I was disappointed that certain things that were told to me were not true, but I never thought about pointing the finger and saying, you effing lied to me.
interesting way to look at it.
When did you find out the truth, though? What age?
I don't remember the exact age. I know that I had to have known by the age of 10.
Okay, there's my point. I was 12, and I was going to bat, dying on hills left and right in front of the hot chicks, Vicky. Oh, no, he's real. Magical prince on my porch. My mom told me. I went to battle, and
They're like birds at it again.
oh, I didn't real. They would bait me. Oh, tell us about that magical elf print you found in your porch. Oh yeah, it's great, Beckett. It's still hard to talk about. To Beckett's point, it is odd. I get that you want to do the whimsy and the mystical, and hey, life is great, but not every kid's gonna be a Vicky. Some kid's gonna be a bird and go, why did you go so far to trick me to the point where now I'm looking silly?
See, none of my 3 kids, that nobody complained about it. I mean, I made some little revisions. Like, I made some of these things a little bit easier on myself. Like, this one particular creature didn't like cats. So instead of putting something under their pillow, they had to leave it out in the living room, which was much easier.
Are you talking about the smooth Mary?
Something like that. So I changed some of the traditions to make them easier for me.
Okay.
I like that. I would be like, do you got to put it in my drawer by 9 or nothing?
That sounds so
Like a baron.
so demanding.
I'm just kidding.
I like seeing the dark side of Daniel.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, great stuff, Vicky. That led to so much conversation. Next, ask Vicky. Vicky, have you ever seen a famous spirit? And we can even go on the local level. We will take a Tomasello Pest Control actor.
No, I have had famous people show up in my dreams, and I question whether it's actually a visitation or
Prince.
Yes, Prince has been there many times.
Let me guess, Scott Baio showed up.
He's still living.
And is he showing up in your dreams?
No,
Barely.
no.
Okay, but now when people do say, "Oh, I had a reading and Lincoln was here and I think I saw Booth scamper by," are you calling suspect?
Maybe somebody better who attracts more famous spirits than I do, but I know I've never really come across anybody that, was celebrity level.
I was watching something and it was Lincoln and Booth. Why the fuck would Lincoln and Booth want to be involved in somebody's reading that has nothing to do with
Unless they
the
were
Civil War?
related to Lincoln, that would make sense. But if it's the average person, I don't know why he'd be dropping in.
Yeah.
I mean, we all love Lincoln.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the hat, the beard. Has there ever been a president that has had so? Let's not turn a political bird. Let's move along. And last question for Ask Vicky: can a ghost cross over on its own eventually? And it was a long email, and let me just kind of, in more layman's term, kind of summarize it up a little bit. Do you know when in Ghost he kind of at the end figures it out? He needs to cross over, kind of on his own. He stumbles around. He goes, "Shit, I gotta cross over." Does that happen?
Yes, it can happen, especially if, like in that case, if we're going to use the movie as an example, he had to, his killer had to be announced and the friend that was betraying, all of that came about. So that gave him the peace to go ahead and cross, even though he kind of wanted to stay. Absolutely. The problem is the longer an earthbound spirit stays, the harder it is for them to cross.
And why is that? Because they love the surroundings, they become familiar with it?
They either really love it or they're really scared about what's going to happen on the other side, or they forgot about the light. They forgot what it looks like. So when somebody helps cross, when I help a spirit cross, I just bring the light. I don't do anything except for say, are you ready? And then I bring the light and I ask for their loved ones to come and help them.
I mean, if you want to get turned and throw a party, Vicki brings the light. That's awesome.
Has there ever been any conclusion or beliefs as to what the light is?
No, I mean, it just, to me, it represents the other side. And to me, it's a light because it is so bright and shiny and all that. And it's easy for them to find. And it's a very distinctive, I mean, when I bring it, like the whole entire sky just lights up and everybody just knows. And then usually when they cross, it's like this. Like 1 second they're there, the next second they're gone. I even had one that went so quickly, there was like a big bang in the room when he left. There was like this big popping kind of sound when he left. Some people, I've seen them actually climb stairs because they had another spirit helping them. So she was guiding him up the stairs, and then they got to the top of the stairs. Now, he was focused on the light, but she had been traveling back and forth. When they got to the top of the stairs, she turned around and she blew me a kiss to thank me, because she had been trying to get this guy, because it was, someone that she had associated with while she was living. She had been trying for years and years to get him to go. And with her help, he went.
Wow. What a story. What a story. Denny's, I mean, you hear blowing kisses, ghosts.
It's great. I mean,
And just to validate it, he says the same responses.
I mean, it's Hollywood. It's great. It's
great.
got it all, man.
Vicki, I love that.
But just to validate it, the following night, no one knew this. I went and hung out with a bunch of other people, and there was a psychic there. And she came up to me and she goes, I got a message from that woman that helped you yesterday. And I was like, okay. And she said she wants to thank you for helping him to get where he needed to be. And she said, whenever you need help with a crossing, that she's going to come and help you. This psychic didn't know me prior to that day. And there's no way that she could have known that story.
I mean, Vicki is making a real strong run for the Spirit Award for this podcast today. Y'all are eligible.
Yeah,
We've got the most spirit, the most gusto. Right now, Vicki's in the lead.
The Spirits Award.
Great job, Vicki.
It's a great double entendre award that we should maybe memorialize.
Yeah,
Spirit
a little
Award?
more.
Becky, and I think we're going to definitely talk about that during our creative meeting after the
All right.
podcast.
I like it. I like it.
You brought something up, blowing kisses. Just it gave me a thought that I jotted down. Is that a cool move? If you're, let's say you're single, Vicki, and you see a guy,
We don't have to pretend that. That's
Okay.
that's in actuality. Go ahead.
and you're crushing on this guy at the grocery store. He works there. He's been working there for a couple months. He's new, stock guy. Just keeps talking shit. Very, very handsome. You guys have had a moment in the bread aisle. You guys have thrown eyes at one another. There's somewhat of a connection. You guys talk a little bit, a couple times. It's maybe the fourth time you've seen him. This time it's in the frozen food section. He goes, "Hey, good to see you again, Vicki. Have a good day." And then as he's looking back, he blows you a kiss. Into it or sleazy cheesy, baby?
It's way too cheesy. Way
my
too
gosh.
cheesy. No.
Were you there
Terrible.
mentally, Denny's? Were you in the
Terrible.
store with Vicki?
I've tried to do the wink and I've tried to do the kiss, and I always felt like a big D-bag when I did it.
Oh my gosh,
Oh,
I'm the
God.
worst winker. I wink with both eyes. Watch, if I try to wink, if you look at the camera, I can't do it.
Winks are, you have to be good. Some people have it. That's something that I don't think everyone can do. Is
Muscle
wink.
control. Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
when I do it, I look like fucking crazy.
I'm stroking out. It looks like something's going on with me.
You need those
Not
wink
sa-
Kegels. Those Kegel exercises.
Look back at Kegels is a whole nother topic. I mean,
Anytime I've winked or blown a kiss, I instantly regret it.
Yes, you must.
blow a kiss seems the move back maybe 1940s. You just got back from the war.
Oh,
You know what I
they had
mean?
no other entertainment.
Hey, doll face. Mwah.
But I'm the kind of guy I like the old school stuff. Like I'll wear a shag belly like tux. Like I like the old school stuff. Yes, sir.
For
no,
sure.
ma'am. Like
Yeah, but
I'm
that-
kind of like an old soul like that.
I
but
love it too.
It doesn't come off right. It doesn't age well.
It's the-
It doesn't age
But
well.
I've heard women say, yeah, don't blow me a kiss, and I heard the winking can be very creepy. But is it only creepy when you're not attracted to the guy?
No, it's pretty much creepy all the time.
Yeah, I've never seen a.
It certainly doesn't help.
If you're creepy, winking and blowing kisses, it's definitely not the move. It's a bad strategy.
I feel like creepier people do those type of things.
Yeah, and the other move no one ever should do, and I don't know why it still is around, the snake slither tongue.
Oh, I don't know anyone does that.
What's that?
Do they?
Show him, Denny's.
Oh yeah.
It'd be hard, dude. I mean, does
Nowadays
anyone-
you just get arrested.
You would get. I think if you did the snake slither tongue out in public, immediate tasing.
Yeah, you're in jail.
that's an offense in itself.
It's pretty sleazy. Somebody wanted to ask about this. They go, Bird, have you seen the story about leeches and cosmetic surgery? It's a clip there, Denny's, if you don't mind grabbing that. This is coming from Lane. They listen to the KVJ show, and they're always hearing Virginia talking about the things she'll do to stay young. I'm like, girl, father and mother time, they're going to get your ass. You don't want young old face. Am I right about that?
It's a different look.
Young old face, Beckett, it's a scary place to be. But this cosmetic surgeon or plastic surgeon or whatever, I mean, I don't know if there's a difference, Denny's. He's going to let you know why he uses leeches for youth.
Did you know that we actually use leeches in plastic surgery? It's not just something that was used back in the medieval days. We actually have a good scientific reason for using them now. Leeches have got this substance that they release that actually thins the blood and causes the blood not to clot so much. So when we're doing microsurgery and we actually find that that tissue is getting congested, we can use leeches to actually help relieve that pressure until your body takes over and starts doing the work for itself. While it might sound a bit gross, leeches are a fantastic addition to plastic surgery.
All right, chat room, weirdos listening, would you put leeches on your body if it would take 5 years off of your looks? If you're 30, you're going to look 25. Do the math, whatever age you are. You get a solid 5 to 6 years of youth, but every Friday night for 30 minutes, you got to put leeches all over your body.
I mean, everyone's probably is this available to everyone, or
It's available to everybody. You go to the store. I'll
do
take
it?
that public
I
sub
bet you that'd be so
and a handful
popular.
of leeches.
It would become commonplace. You would just meet at the leech place.
Beckett, I see you doing it. I see you putting leeches on your face if it could preserve that sweet, beautiful mug.
I will be willing to give the disclaimer that I think that it's a little different for men than women, but I actually think I'm going to embrace aging. Like when I get gray, I'm not going to dye it. Like, I'm just going to roll with it,
For sure.
It's always easy for the hot guy to say, I'm just fuck it. I'm just going to just chill.
I'll see what happens.
I'm just going to rest my drink on my ab and just let life happen.
Upkeep slow already.
That said, if they said, hey, this isn't some like quackery maybe thing, it worked in one clinical trial, like this actually definitively worked.
Yeah, like they got tanning beds. They now have leech beds.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'd still be freaked out, but I think I would be open to it.
And maybe I'm going a little too crazy with my once a week, Vicky. Let's say it's a treatment. Every 6 weeks, you have to do an hour of leech treatment. And the leeches, for the sake of this argument, on every inch of the body.
So they cover your entire body.
I'm just
Some people have more inches on their body than others.
I'm just kidding. A face full of leeches, Vicky.
I mean, I wouldn't be scared of the leeches, but I don't have some ultimate goal to look young. I mean, I use moisturizer. That's the end of what I do.
To Beckett's point, I was raised more of, especially, really on both sides of the family, they both really embraced aging. And they were never into any of that. I think my mom would dye her hair up until she got to be about 50-something, and then she's like, fuck it. I'm just gonna be me. And there is such a freedom about that when you just don't give a frog's fat ass about aging. The older we get, the soul and the spirit really is going to be the more important thing.
Absolutely.
That you're going to want to settle down with.
It's different horses for different courses, but I actually find it A, liberating, B, on the other side of the aisle, someone that I'm potentially dating, I find it more attractive if they are themselves in their own skin, if that makes sense. And I know not everyone is like that, but if someone embraces it, did you guys all see Top Gun 2?
Not yet, man.
Dude, I don't know what the actress's name is. Jennifer Connelly.
Yes.
Oh my God, gorgeous.
Oh, brother. I'm 1985 crushing on her.
Oh my
Fucking
gosh.
Labyrinth. Dude.
And she was like distinguished and like embraced her age. Like she wasn't like injecting and whatever. I don't know what her regimen is, but she was amazing.
Brother, everybody in Hollywood is doing Botox, all of it. Nobody in Top Gun is not putting a needle in their face, including your boy Cruise. I know he's half alien, but he still has to.
He still's got upkeep.
He looks phenomenal.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
He just comes out every now and then and doesn't age.
It's so funny. I will get at least 1 or 2 hate emails anytime we talk any kind of positivity about Tom Cruise.
People hate him.
They do. It rubs people the wrong way to the point they feel they have to email and go, Tom Cruise is blah, 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 blah.
They list everything.
I'm just watching Top Gun.
This was his
enjoying the art.
It was his highest grossing opening weekend. This is saying something for Tom Cruise in the history of all of his movies.
Yes.
That during coming out of COVID.
It's gonna break records.
Highly recommend.
So you enjoyed it. You give it an A+.
Has he enjoyed it? He's got a Top Gun boner.
Mm-hmm.
Top 10 movies I've ever seen.
All right. I heard nothing. I rarely see this, but I've seen no hate on the movie.
It's been rare.
5 stars.
What I mean,
I've
Becky,
seen everybody give it 5 stars.
Vicky, any desire to see that movie?
Nope.
Did you hate the first
And
one?
the more he praises it, the less likely I am to see it.
Why is the pause? Because I saw that too through text messages and emails. People that were blowing that movie. You can never blow something too hard because the pushback is always going to happen. And we got Vicky. Is it the fact that anytime something's so overhyped, you want to go, settle the fuck down?
Listen, it took me 10 years to see E.T. because everyone was talking, you have to see this movie. You absolutely have to. It was 10 years after it came out that I finally watched it just because I don't like being told what to do.
Yeah.
Did you like E.T.?
Yeah, once I saw it. But it was not something that I watch over and over again.
So I just have to use reverse psychology with Vicky. Vicky, you are not allowed to see Top Gun 2. Can't see it.
Or
Can't
say
see
the movie sucks a bunch.
Yeah, it sucks.
You can't, dog. She's got
Still haven't
Jedi
seen
mind
it.
tricks.
That's
You
weird.
can't, she don't work on you.
We'd have to go back.
She don't.
She's going to love it. She's going to hate to admit it, but she's going to love
No,
it.
she's gonna hate it. I can feel her anger. I had a thought, Beckett. But you want to keep blowing Top Gun too. Please go on. Tell us how awesome Tom Cruise is.
Oh, the special effects were amazing.
No, with that said, I think it's time for some
Denny's Random Facts.
Oh, he is sweet and he is awesome. And he's our sweet Denny's. He does a great job just searching, hunting for these factoids. Vicky, our educator, who should be in a better mood because it's summertime. But
We'll see.
yeah,
It's
she's
hot
giving me-
outside.
She's giving me the roll eyes. So Denny's, look out. If she loves it, she gives him an A. If she doesn't, she's been known to give the F
Sometimes the
and
D.
give the D. Yes. All right. Sweet Denny's, the floor is yours.
So Beckett may have heard this, but I never heard this. Did you know Einstein's brain was stolen when he died?
Yes.
I figured you did because you love you some Einstein.
Einstein.
And I think he likes Einstein because Einstein was part pervert.
he was a goofy
Smart
son.
man. He said monogamy was unnatural.
Yeah.
Einstein said a lot of shit.
So
I think Einstein get canceled now.
And he always was proven right.
I think a lot of that era would be canceled these days. But yeah, when he passed away, he didn't want his body to be worshipped or his brain to be studied, so he wished to be cremated. And the guy that he put the trust in to do that stole his brain. The family found out, and they didn't press charges, and he ended up just keeping the brain in his basement. How weird.
Whoa, I feel like you could do a whole movie on that.
I feel like I can't believe that's not talked about more.
There's a lot of shit like that. That I don't know why it's not talked about. Why is that factoid not talked about? That's a weird
That's what, when I
fact.
read that, I go, how is that not a common knowledge thing?
That'd be like me Jen,
No sweat.
Don't worry. No one's going to fuck with Denny's brain. I'm not going to. Then I take it, and then I'm trying to have it. It ain't right.
Thomas Harvey, if you want to look him up, is the guy that stole it.
T. Harv's.
T. Harvey.
Vicky, I mean, I don't know. I'm enjoying it.
He had me at basement, so I'm going to give him an A.
What does that mean?
Because it got creepy when he took it to the basement.
Yeah, he kept
All
bringing...
girls love the red room. The
Whoa, Becky. What, dude, put it
that's
away.
50 Shades of Grey.
the red room, red light.
I mean, look at this. All of a sudden, our boy's super horny because we're talking about Top Gun 2.
It was my fluffer.
Sweet Denny's.
So we all know the word anti-disestablishmentarianism.
Use it every week.
So it was a long-ass word. It's 28 letters, and it was one of the longer words for a very long time until recently. There's a new word that's longer. It's 45 letters long. It is pneumono-ultramicroscopic silicona vallecana coneosis. It's the longest English term. It's a condition produced by breathing in silica particles during an erupting volcano.
Okay, before I forget, please send me that. We're going to do that in the KVJ show tomorrow.
It's very
and we're going to
tough.
see if I can read that. And if I can, I get shocked. As soon as I
that's
fuck it up,
funny.
I'm going to get shocked. I want
It's
it on the 10 level.
45 letters long. It's very daunting.
There's no way I get that.
That's amazing. Is that longer than super fragile?
Let's all try that word.
All right.
Go ahead. Do it.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
All right, Becky got it.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Vicky?
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Ponton?
Uh,
Don't make me do it.
Yeah.
Superfragilocalicious.
I just saw the movie
I got
so
a list,
much.
Denny's. I struggle.
I just saw
My
that.
favorite word, though, is we're not allowed to read the book anymore because it was banned. But there's a book called Tiki Tiki Timbo, and his whole name is Tiki Tiki Timbo, no Sam Rimbo.
No, do it again. I love this.
Tiki Tiki Timbo, no Sam Rimbo, Cherry Berry Ruchi Pip Perry Pimbo. And in the book, you have to repeat his whole name multiple times. So the kids get really into it because I would say it really fast. And then after we read the story, they would have to say Tiki Tiki Timbo's name.
I love seeing Vicky do her thing in
like
her
it.
element.
Yeah, I
on
like
center stage. Do the Tiki Tiki Timbo stuff. It's great.
It's good.
Good material.
Do you actually know the longest word in the dictionary?
What is it?
Smiles. There's a mile between each S.
Do you want me to, Denny's, look, I know you're a
Bring in the dad
pacifist. I know you're a pacifist. Do you want me to kick him out of my house? I love him, but I will kick him out.
I hear you.
During your segment, you gonna do that shit?
I hear you.
You're gonna take that from Becky?
It's fun. We'll move on.
I'm helping you on your grade.
We'll grow.
Vicky, what are your thoughts? I know Becky probably
my-
took me out a peg.
A B. I'll
It's
go-
just
go
more
with the B.
fun than
I mean,
anything.
Tiki Tiki Timbo came out of that? All
Well,
right.
Remember
it's still a
Ricky
B.
Tikki Tavi? I think that did anyone else? The Mongooses, Ricky Tikki Tavi? No one. All right, Ponton's coming.
Yeah, I'm not shocked.
I hear ya. Let's see. What do you guys think about this? Our sharpest memories are often from our early adulthood. This is because of something called the reminiscent bump. This psychological concept theorizes that as an adult reflects on their lives, they remember more events from their 20s than any other time. So I guess we were talking earlier, you were talking about people or kids can see ghosts up until about 7 or so, and then the gift dies. Well, they say from birth to 5 years old is childhood amnesia. It's a period which a lot of people forget a lot of details from. From 15 to 30 is the reminiscent bump, and that lasts until about 30ish, and then you go into the forgetting till the end. It's the time cycle of people's memories, I guess is how they do it. But it counts for nostalgia. The reason they think is that while you're growing up, you have your most profound experiences because first off, it's your first time ever experiencing it. But secondly, you're coming off of your hormones when your body's in chaos, then going into a more routine schedule. It allows you to free up more of your brain faculties to absorb things. It's just a weird, in fact, here's a weird article I found on a sideline. There's a term called a flashbulb memory. They found that if they interviewed people who would have been in their 20s during a time frame of a historic event like, you know, a bombing or something bad happening, that they would recount the details more accurately because it was during a time when they were reminiscing on the reminiscent bump time of their lifetime. So it's a weird time frame where you remember a lot of powerful details of your life, but it's the reminiscent bump. I know there's a lot to unpack in there, but
In South Florida, be careful what saying about that because people think you're doing the cocaine.
The devil's dandruff.
Yeah, Vicky, hormones.
I know there's
nostalgia.
a lot. I know there's a lot.
a lot.
It's just such
long-winded. What thoughts?
Yeah, long-winded. Yeah.
It's very long-winded.
It's
Very,
being a dick.
I get it.
Denny's, I'm in awe of you. I love seeing you do your
I
thing.
can feel the long-windedness as it was happening.
No, I'm just kidding.
I'll give him a B.
I thought
for
it was
bump.
great. And look, baby, I love hearing you talk.
Yeah, read about that thing though. It's a very cool concept on how our brains remember. It also led me to a couple dementia articles, which I found a lot of things that lead to dementia.
Oh
It's
my
like-
gosh, I went on a dementia run, and I gotta tell you, it was not the right time to read that, especially because it was Christmas Eve, and it just was not the right time to learn about that disease.
Well, they said that the mind is odd because when you learn a detail that's important, your brain stores it. The problem is, as you age, the ability to recall memories gets tougher, which is why weird memories can reflect 50 years later.
Yeah.
Weird things can be repressed, and a lot of things it's because your brain's designed like that. But they did a study where they said they gave like 50 people draw a penny from memory, and you think everybody would be able to do that, but you'd be surprised. Nobody could remember how to draw which way he was facing. They didn't know any of the details, and that's because your brain only needs enough information to recognize that's a penny and that's 1 cent. It doesn't need to know actually details on it because that's irrelevant.
That is so weird that you're saying that because that reminds me of, oh boy, I can't remember.
That's the thing. We're past the point. Everything from here on out's reminiscent bump. It sucks. We've hit that point. But it's your ability to recall details that you deteriorates over time.
So if I start losing my memory and I can't get it done, and I don't know who Denny's is anymore. I'm letting y'all know. I don't know if I want to be on this rock.
Oh, that feels like a tough ride.
That's tough.
It is tough. I mean,
It's one of the most cruel diseases.
we've had it in my family before, and to see the decline,
Yeah.
it's quite heartbreaking, and it's kind of rapid, man. At least in our case, it went pretty south within a year,
Yeah.
like really bad, and then they passed away. It's a very sad thing. Denny's, I'm glad you brought that up right before the weekend.
Let's go into a more fun one then.
Oh, Vicky, what do you give
I
that?
think she gave
I
it
get B.
Oh,
B
B,
for
okay.
bumping.
All right, gotcha.
So here, a little bit more fun. There's a village in India whose main export is men. The village prepares men to become bouncers for nightclubs and bars. They do 2-hour workouts in the morning, followed by 2-hour workouts in the afternoon. Very high protein diet. The whole town revolves around this style of training. And they account for more than 300 muscle men that work as bouncers in all of New Delhi's clubs in India. It's crazy, right? It's crazy, right?
I fucking love this guy. Vicky, I would give him an A for just being awesome, but that's just me. What's your final grade?
B minus.
All right. Well, Denny's,
being
great,
nice.
great job. A lot of laughs, a lot of fun.
Yeah,
That was good stuff.
Get some muscle, man.
I do want to welcome our man on the street. Let's give it up for Joe Ponton. Mr. Ponton is our man on the street, getting the stories, especially out there in the ocean, the beach. You find a lot of shit out there now. Like I said in the beginning of the podcast, Joe Ponton has found 2 dead bodies in his career, and I think he's looking for a third.
I'm definitely looking for a third.
Well, it's like I worked with a guy, Becky. He got bit by 2 sharks at 2 different times in his life. He was a surfer. And he goes, man, I just need that 3rd shark bite. That 3rd shark bite, it'll get me a book deal. And I kind of agreed with 3 shark bites would, right? That's a book.
Well, it's kind of an ask Vicky because isn't it true that a lot of people believe things come in 3s?
I mean, that's what people always say. I think that's...
But isn't there got to be a reason for that?
I don't know if there's actual reason, but I have actually, especially when it comes with death, it does seem like 3 people that you know that are fairly close to you will pass away 3 in a row.
What happens when they come in 4s? That's happened to me. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
At that point, your argument's out the water.
But not to digress, but it's the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. right? It's the Trinity. Jesus died when he was 33. The Freemasons, their special order is the Scottish Rite. Their symbol's 33. Like, there's all kinds of things in history and in folklore and spirituality where 33 is a reoccurring number, at least in my understanding.
And also with demonic things, it's the mocking of the Trinity. So I would say if you're going to go on that, it's more of a negative thing rather than a positive.
It's so bizarre. The number 3 has always been a significant number in my life. Since I was a child. Well, my favorite baseball player was Dale Murphy, number 3. And when I really, as a kid, struggled with OCD, if I thought God was going to punish me, I'd have to turn up the volume on the radio. I'd have to do it 1, 2, 3. And when I would do that third one, God was not going to punish me. I wasn't going to get in trouble. It was always 3. So I didn't realize there was so much religious or devil or whatever significance.
There's
to
a lot
number.
of stuff on 3 and 33.
But the fact that I'm so into 3 and that it's always been, I mean, that's my number.
That's your number.
That doesn't mean anything.
My number's 7.
It doesn't mean that I'm possessed by the devil.
No, I would have already thrown holy water on you. Don't worry about it.
And we all know I hate water.
Ironically, Vicky and I have had separate conversation previously, and she said she sees that I'm going to see 7 different dead. I'm going to find 7 different dead people.
You said he's going to find 7 different dead people. Now, that is a Babe Ruth, I'm calling my shot to Wrigley Field, dead center field. That's quite a shot you're calling there.
Well, if he's already had 2, and there's how many of us? There's 4 here. So that brings him, if he kills us, that brings him up to 6.
Jesus, Vicky.
What a great Twilight Zone episode. That's a great episode. It's good.
She's writing the script to
That's a Black Mirror, but we'll do Snack Mirror. I love it.
So the number is actually higher than 2 already. Remember, the guy had a heart attack in front of me at the St. David's Fair in Davie when I was 13, 14.
And I do remember
and I did
that
CPR on him. He died. That wasn't like a fine.
But didn't you? I think I didn't give you credit for that one because. But that's in the realm.
So he's already at 4, and he found a vertebrae.
Well,
Does that count as
that would be the third one.
Oh, that would be the third.
And then
I would say Ponton's at 2 officially, and then he. I mean, tell the heart attack story real quick.
So I was teenager at St. David's Fair in Davie. They had it every year. Gamble, whatever. There was all kinds of stuff going on. There was a guy walking out of the casino area, and I was walking with my father. I was already CPR certified. I got that as a really young because I used to babysit kids.
Bragger.
Whatever. So he has a heart attack right in front of me. I go down on the ground and start performing CPR on him. 2 other gentlemen, like older gentlemen, came down as well, and we were all 3 kind of going around doing CPR on the guy for probably 5 full minutes.
Now, was he passed away at that point, or he?
The paramedic said that he probably. He probably said it to me because I was just a kid, and I was like, "What the fuck," you know?
Sure.
But he said that he died on impact. He said he was already gone. It was a
so when
massive
you guys were
heart attack.
working on him,
Yeah,
you were already working on.
I had no idea, but he was already gone.
And I mean, give it up for Ponton.
No.
You know, still making it happen, trying to do that thing.
Yeah, you know.
So you were how old during that?
I was maybe 14 at the oldest.
Now, Vicky, let me ask you this: why is Ponton surrounded by this? Is this? This is not a slight, because I think because of your past, now you're so in tune with it. You're looking for it, which I think is great, and I think you're going to find shit. I think it's meant to be. But why does it go to him?
Because of the energy. Because when he first came upon it, then it became more, even if it was subconsciously at that point, an interest, he was bringing that energy towards him.
So he wasn't born with this. When he found that first dead body, you feel like that's when this all happened.
I would say that that's probably what triggered the multiple events.
How old were you when you found the first dead body?
10 or 11.
I mean, dude, what the fuck? Oh, and how old were you with a heart attack?
13, 14.
I mean, jeez. That's a lot. That's a lot of trauma.
So there's a family that I'm I was very close with growing up, who 2 girls were hit by a car, and that was right down the street from my house. And I was driving to baseball practice, and I saw they were still sorry, I haven't talked about this in a long time. They were still under the van. Ooh, sorry.
Don't apologize.
I couldn't drive a car for probably 2 years after that. Whew. I haven't spoken about this.
Yeah, no. If you don't want to speak about it, you don't have to.
It's okay.
People
I
just
couldn't drive that route until I was 40.
So when you were
I was 15.
jeez, man.
Wow.
So I saw 3 different massive incidents that happened in 4 years.
I mean, that's absolutely traumatic. Now, when something like that happens, Vicky, when there's so much trauma on the emotion side, does that give you more of insight to the spirit world?
Probably. I mean, that's very you have seen people technically right as they're going to the other side or soon after they've passed to the other side.
And at that point, too, at 15, during that time, he already had experience with it, so he's already in tuned, and you're seeing shit that...
And my dad was in the passenger seat. I was driving his car. I
Yeah.
was just like, I go, Dad, I don't think I'm ready to be driving right now. And he said, okay, I understand.
Yeah, well, I mean, I appreciate you telling the story. Look,
Yeah,
you know,
for
I
sure.
don't never feel bad about crying. I've cried so many times on the air, and I always go, I'm sorry for crying. Whatever.
I've
you know
literally
what I mean?
probably talked about that 3 times in my entire life.
Yeah, dude, I appreciate you bringing that up. We're going to get so many comments and emails from people that have seen or been through that. Look, man, I saw about 9 months ago, and I was fucked up for about a week or so to where I felt just weird. I was on 45th Street, and I saw a guy on a motorcycle just get drilled by a car that ran a red light, and then the car drove into another car. I mean, it was a pretty horrific scene, and there's no way that the guy on the motorcycle was not, at minimum, just really, really fucked up. And that's the best case scenario. Dude, that shit's, you're not supposed to see that stuff.
Yeah.
It's not natural. It fucks with you.
Well, you guys know the story of Travis, the guy who was trying to kill himself in front of the ER, which was 2 weeks after I found the guy who had killed himself. He had drank hand sanitizer soap, like 4 bottles of it, and I thought they were bottles of Patron. And I ran into the ER and I said, there's a guy who's not responsive in the bus stop area, and he's half naked. And they're like, oh, Jesus, Travis again? I'm like, all right.
Ah, Travis. He loves eating that soap. That is what Travis does.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, I hear you. No, Travis. No, but I appreciate you telling that story, Mr. Ponton. Give it up.
Woo!
That was
Look,
actually not what I was going to talk about tonight. But
It's
I know
not, but
we'll catch you next time.
bottom line, tears equal views.
Now it's great.
No, really quick, because people want to know this.
sorry.
We don't have to spend a lot of time on it. You found that piece of what looked like to be a human spine.
Yes.
Now, we know it's not a human spine. We know it's not human. The thing that we thought was interesting was the process. When you find something and you give it to the police department or the detectives, they don't always get it back. And I know, Vicky, you had some, not concerns, but opinions about that.
Yeah, it was odd. And even the person who's my contact with all that kind of stuff, even she said they should have just handed it right back to them.
You found it, you wanted it back, they didn't give it back, and you thought that was weird.
Yeah, it was. And she said that's not typical. So
And
I don't know why.
They sent it to the medical examiner to review and see what it was, because it was pretty damn old. And then they didn't give me any update. And then I asked for it back, and they said it was considered bio waste disposable.
Huh.
Wow.
Beckett, it sounds like there might be something
Sinister.
or hidden.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Ponton, we appreciate your talents and all you do.
Always a pleasure, brother.
Next week, we will, find some bullshit again next week, man. If there's a man that's going to find some weird bullshit, it's that man right there.
sure.
I mean, I don't go on the beach deliberately with him because I feel like we would both get struck by lightning with the weirdest lightning bolt.
Something random would
Well,
happen.
I have friends that are like him, and he's a very my experience being friends with him. He's
Mr. Ponton.
Yeah, he's a very inquisitive, caring person, and a lot of people would walk by things,
Yes.
you know. And I think that's not all of it, but maybe that's 10% of it. That he's a caring person, and like he goes and checks to the guy at the bus stop. You know, a lot of people would continue walking down the train track, stand by me, and not go see.
Yeah.
They'd be like, "Oh my gosh, what's that over there? I don't know. Let's not go over there."
not
You
deal
know
with
what I
it.
mean?
Denny's will tell you, I don't let a lot of people in my personal life. It's hard to get through these walls. Ponton, just that right kind of weird
Yeah.
to get through them walls.
Yeah, it's a talent.
Yeah.
It's a great personality
Stay
trait.
weird, kid. Stay weird.
Don't let him change you.
We do have a couple emails I'd like to get to. Dear Weird and Whatever, especially you, Jay Bird, because I've heard you talk about this. If someone is sad, I can feel their sadness. If someone is happy, I can feel their happiness. And again, to the 1,000th degree. What the fuck does this mean? And again, the email was quite lengthy, but it talked about Vicki. No matter what someone's mood is, they really just, it kind of goes in them and they absorb it. And I very much understand. I tell Denny's that all the time. I am so my atmosphere. If you are panicky, I start to feel. If you are calm and cool, what do you think that is?
You're an empath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, for someone who doesn't know what that is.
An empath is able to pick up on the emotions of other people and even walk in and read a room full of people and figure out what the overall, there could be like 100 people in the room. Everybody in the room is going to be feeling something different, but you're going to have an overall feeling of the room, whether it's happy, depressed, sad, angry, and you just have your body just, it's absorbing. What happens, unfortunately, with people who are empaths and don't know they are, they're often the kids that were told when they were little, oh, you need to suck it up, you're just a crybaby, and this, that, and the other. And a lot of them will have panic attacks because they think that all of those feelings are theirs. It's not. They're absorbing it from people around them, and they become overwhelmed.
That is quite a theory or opinion on that. But that makes sense to me. That's great stuff. I love it. A lot of people going for the Spirit Award. Unfortunately, Vicki, you just got beat out by tears. I mean, motherfucker, he wins. He gets the Spirit Award. But if you are someone that has that and you don't know why, it's been a struggle for me, unfortunately. I sometimes can go into a depression.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So what you need to learn to do is you need to put up a shield. And you need
more walls. Great.
more walls, but these are good walls. We'll make these clear plastic ones, okay?
Yeah.
That people can at least wave to you on
These
the other
are
side.
ice cube walls. They
Like-
melt, Denny's, when you have
Padded
a warm
walls.
heart.
Like a Gallagher splash wall.
You know I love a Gallagher comedian reference.
Do you? I don't think you do. Remember we watched
You
that
know I
recent
love
thing?
him.
Yeah, I hear you. We watched that recent thing with him. It was so odd.
Gallagher, do you know who Gallagher
Of
is?
course
The
I do.
comedian. Well,
Yeah.
who's Gallagher?
He's the guy that smashes the
I
watermelon.
just want to make sure.
But
Gallagher's
the other
a-
important thing
Okay.
is when you're feeling those things, you need to stop for a second, close your eyes, and figure out if this emotion's coming towards you or coming out of you. If it's coming towards you, it's not yours.
Yeah.
So then you can process faster to stop it and to put the shield up.
I like that. I'd like to talk to you a little bit more off the air about strategies to because it can be a hindrance.
Maybe I'll stay for 6 minutes tonight instead of 5.
There you go.
6 minutes. What are you talking? You are gone in 90 seconds. You doing a fucking Angelina Jolie movie. Gone in 90 seconds. What's that movie?
Gone 60
60
seconds.
All right,
I
there
think
we
it's
go.
Nick Cage, right?
Was it Cage? Cage and Jolie?
I believe it was Cage in that. Is
I don't
Jolie?
think
I don't know
Jolie's
if
in
she's
it.
in that.
I'm the worst at modern day.
That's when Cage peaked.
Jolie's not in that movie? Lie to me and tell me Jolie's in that movie.
Oh, she is in that.
Boom!
Nick Cage, Jolie. It's got everyone.
Well, the reason why I know that is because I saw that come up on my screen, and I go, I'm watching all these 90s, early 2000 movies that I'd never seen before. That came up, and I go, Jolie and Cage.
It's weird.
It's
I didn't
a weird combo.
She's got blonde hair. I didn't recognize
Yeah.
her. Damn.
Ooh, I love Jolie with blonde hair.
All right.
Beckett's. I
He likes
I
that.
think it's time for his segment. He's getting warmed up.
oh
over
yeah,
here.
you know what, Beckett? We're running out of time here, but it's
I'll be quick.
no.
That's what she said.
Beckett's gonna debut his new segment tonight, and we're calling it what? Getting
Sex and tech until we have something better.
sex and tech. Now, again, that is Beckett's title. I did not come up with that.
I think
Those
it's
are my two
friendly.
favorite things.
I actually like it.
Yeah.
Sex and tech with Beckett.
I
I
like
love it. Sex and tech with Beck.
I like it.
Yeah.
Love it.
I like it.
It's
Yeah, I
long.
like it. I like it.
That's what she said.
I
All
like
right,
it.
Mr. Beckett, what do you got for us?
So we've talked about this after the podcast, and we've talked about a lot of different things as it relates to the metaverse and virtual reality. Virtual reality is something they've been talking about for a long time, like late '90s, early '90s. There's that old movie Demolition Man with Sandra Bullock.
Denny, I never seen that before.
What?
He had told me, he goes, you got to see the sex
You have
scene.
to see it.
You know, he showed it to me.
Yeah.
We watched it.
What?
The sex scene in Demolition Man is next level.
Super over the top.
It's everything I want in a movie.
Stallone's pretty great in that. 'cause
He's fantastic.
Yeah, that's a good
He's
movie.
pretty,
Yeah.
he's pretty awful. In it.
So there's an article within the last month, and it says virtual reality sex in the metaverse will be quote unquote equally enjoyable as the real life act, experts claim. And they have Mark Zuckerberg quoted in this. And what's fascinating is that they basically are coming out with haptic suits. And I think that what I want to convey in this little bit is that I think a lot of people, like especially because it's coming from me, they instantly go to like dirty, like, oh, like what's the value in that? It's Beckett spouting off about VR porn, which is amazing, by the way. I've tried it. It's freaky.
I'm not spouting off about it, but it's great.
But one of the things they say in this article is it doesn't always have to be used for bad things. And one of the things that made me really rethink this is what if you're in a long-distance relationship?
Oh, yeah.
What if you're in a long-distance relationship and you actually are having some kind of intimate connection? And say people are like, oh, no matter how good the technology gets, it can't be as good as the real thing. Fine, we can agree with that. But what if it's, because right now we have sexting, right?
Brother.
And back in war, they used to write letters.
You're right.
And now it's an updated version on a way to connect with your intimate partner. It doesn't always have to be dirty, Pornhub, whatever. There's all kinds of different ways to connect with people.
We just went on the biggest stoner conversation on the After the Show podcast about robots and where they're going on the planet. And I know I sound like a fucking broken record, everybody. I get it. Twilight Zone was talking about this shit in 62, Denny's. There's no way that humans are not going to have a connection with a robot. If they make robots very, very similar, and they're going to, like a human being, where they have emotions and they really can convey heartache and pain and hurt feelings and moodiness and everything a human has, there's no fucking way humans do not fall for that. And we're gonna get to a point in 70 years where you're gonna play back the audio of me going against all the robots and go, listen to this robotic dick. He was so against the robotic world. We're heading that way.
Yeah.
Your kids will have robot waitresses, robot waiters, servers.
Yeah.
I don't know the proper term anymore. I'm sure I'm being sexist subconsciously. But it's going to happen. And if you don't think technology is going to make the sex unbelievable, the cuddling, the warmth of it's going to be next level.
No STDs, no unwanted pregnancies.
Yeah.
If you want to experiment,
a true paradise.
if you want to experiment, like in your sexuality, you have the liberty to do that. You want to roll it back, you can roll it back.
Yeah.
Vicky, I want to get your opinion
Yeah,
because
good point.
I use this example. I find the woman of my dreams. She knocks me on my ass. I'm at Denny's. She's the one. I can't believe it. And we're together for a year and a half, and she and me are in the kitchen together, and she accidentally cuts herself, her wrist, accidentally. And then I see down on her wrist, wires, buttons, lights.
Plot
She's a fucking robot. Now, I am in love with her. I would die for her. But now she's a robot. And I know she was made from a human being that was in a lab doing that, programming it. Look, I'm an old soul. It takes away from what that is. I feel like she's only loving me because it was programmed.
it's not
That's
real.
like hitting a home run on steroids when I know everyone else on the field is not on steroids. It's not real to me, damn it.
But is it enjoyable? Maybe not as enjoyable, but is it enjoyable?
And it goes back down to the question, your reality is your life. And if you're able to fall in love with a robot and not give a fuck about what anybody thinks and you're in love and you can get past the wires, it's bliss, no?
Yeah.
People used to, like back in like World War I, they used to fall in love. Like soldiers, they would meet a girl at a bar and they would like hang out and they'd be like, may I write to you?
Oh, yeah.
And they would fall in love via letters.
Keep in mind, though, women were threatened with bicycle face. Vicki, okay, you fall in love with a man, the best. You can't believe it. You thought love was dead. No, love is alive. Motherfucker's a robot. 3 years in.
He's going to the junkyard because it ruins it for me. It ruins it because somebody forced that robot to love me. If you can't voluntarily love me, I don't want it. Whether you plug in the socket at night or whether you're flesh and blood, I don't want you to be with me if you're being forced to be with me.
I
love
it.
I know this is really hypothetical, but what if they weren't forced? What if it's AI? And that AI fell in love with you. It wasn't programmed to fall in love with you.
But it's programmed though. It's programmed by human beings. We are the one. We're the reason why AI exists. We're the ones that's behind it all. So at the core of it, it's got human taint to it, but it's not complete. Does
that make it more legitimate?
It's the Impossible Burger.
Does that make it more legitimate or less legitimate?
I think it makes it less legitimate
because humans are behind it?
Yeah, because naturally we all fall in love or we don't, or we just naturally let it happen. We're not manufacturing anything. We're not part of that process. Now we are making things to be our dream lover. Oh, she's great. She doesn't talk back to me. She supports me. Or he makes love to me in ways I've never thought. I quiver. Well, whatever your desire is.
So I'll put this paradigm just like as devil's advocate. You guys, we've had good conversations about how music or a movie makes you feel. Whether it's Karate Kid or it is a certain song.
Yes.
That's human made. It's not a human.
But I'm not trying to fuck a song, Becky.
Right, and it's not loving him back.
I'm not trying
Karate
to fuck.
Kid doesn't love him back.
Like, I don't try to fuck the movie Karate Kid.
I understand, but if you take the F out of it, it's making you have a positive emotion. That's the crux of my point. It's making you have a positive emotion by something that another human created.
But you could say the same thing about heroin or drugs. A human made that, and it gave me a positive reaction in the moment.
But heroin is derogatory in its nature in terms of its health effect.
So I think cutting off from real human connection and only going to things that tailor to your needs. You basically have hired and made and created a yes woman or a yes man.
Yep.
And that's dangerous.
And I'm glad you brought that up because I think that's the crux of my point with the article is that just like alcohol, it could be used for nefarious things, it could be used for good things. Gym, you can over gym, you can under gym, right? So there's always a level on the spectrum. So it's one thing if you're just addicted to VR porn, right? That's a bad thing. That's a bad thing. But what if you were contemplating bringing a third person into the bedroom and you did it VR? You don't have to deal with the emotions of a real human.
Vicki,
and you can experiment with a third person in the bedroom.
I've never seen Vicki want to punch Beckett so much that she does right now. Vicki, take the floor. You look like you're getting ready to dry gulch this motherfucker. Take the floor.
Well, a couple things. First of all, it will create a society of people who no longer associate. Right now, this cell phone keeps families from talking to each other at a restaurant. It keeps kids behaved, which I appreciate as being another person in the restaurant. However, it's not natural, so they don't learn how to behave. They're not made to learn manners and patience and all that because this is entertaining them. Mm-hmm. So if this can do that much damage, how much damage are your little freaking robots going to do?
Hey, Vicki, you can say fuck. It's summertime.
Yeah,
I don't think the principal gets in it.
You're fucking robot.
There you go.
Vicki.
And here's the thing. I 100% actually agree with Vicky. But it depends on what the guardrails that you put on those things, whether it's alcohol or technology or all of those things. The same thing that makes people distracted is the same thing that can save your life if you get in an accident, right? So there's all kinds of great things. Like say you had sexual trauma. You could have sexual therapy in the metaverse that helps you get out of sexual trauma. There's all kinds of good that comes with the bad.
Objection, Your Honor. Nobody's debating that there's not a place in the world for sex robots. But the argument is, are they going to replace humans and is that a good thing? And ultimately, I don't think it's a good thing. I think it's a great pitch to have in the arsenal in life. I think it's great to, yes. I think porn. I think all of that stuff is good if you keep it within
But that's anything.
It's anything.
Yeah.
I think you can overdo porn, you can overdo sex, you can overdo pizza, you can overdo
That's
it
right.
all if you can hashtag be cool. The problem is, and here's the real question, why can't everybody just be fucking hashtag be cool?
Right.
It just can't happen. It goes to me, my personal opinion.
But how many guys that
Hold on, really quick. Not to cut you
Yeah,
off.
yeah.
I would like to get Vicky's thought one more time because I thought you had something to say there.
Yeah, the other thing that I would want to point out is I think human beings, basically, we do like a little conflict on our life. So if you have this little perfect robot who's doing everything you say, you're going to look for your conflict someplace else. So you might do something to find your excitement. You may go and fuck up the world because your little robot's doing everything she needs and you need that conflict somehow, and you're going to go and make a bigger mess.
It just shows you how ahead of its time Twilight Zone was, because there's another episode where a guy takes a love potion and she hated this guy. And then she takes the love potion and everything he does is amazing. In the beginning, he thinks it's great. She's beautiful. She's hot. Oh, you're the best, baby. And after 6 months, a year, everything he knows everything he's doing is not great, and she loves it. It's not real. It's just not real, Beckett.
But I would say this. Hang on. I just watched 3 months of the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial.
Oh boy.
Those are two real people, and that was a shit show. People that treated each other like shit. So real humans treat each other like shit.
Oh yeah, but so I think we all know Beckett wants to fuck a robot. I think the chat room knows. I know. Look, I would fuck a robot. I think we all would. I just don't think we should live there. That's all. I think we're making more. We're taking up more space with. I get it that it's efficient, but just because things are more efficient doesn't always mean they're better. You lose heart and soul when you. And we're gonna end it after this, but you lose heart and soul if everything's artificially made.
So is masturbation bad or good?
It's amazing. It's fucking awesome.
But that's not real. I mean,
how
it's
is that
real.
not real? How is that not real?
It's the same thing if you have a haptic suit and you're wearing VR.
But the act of masturbation is real.
Right, but so if you get off when you're watching VR porn with a haptic suit, it's real.
I feel like we're changing the argument here because I think the whole thing I agree. Robots, all of that, AI, it has a place. We just got to be careful to not let it dominate.
I 100% agree with that.
I think it does have a place.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be argumentative. I really do.
Yeah, no,
I just think it can't take over for the human spirit. That's
but
it.
to our point, masturbation is the same thing, right? You can't take over. You can't lose your
Replace sex
interest.
with it.
Exactly. Does that make sense?
I think let's table this masturbation conversation during our creative meeting. I'll talk all day long.
Let's really delve into the.
Is the audience saying anything about the sex in the metaverse?
The audience has got a lot to say.
They want sex.
And I want to say thank you to the audience. We've had one of our bigger nights tonight. At one point, I think we're at 62 strong here in the chat room. Ooh. Give it up for our weirdos in the chat room. We really do appreciate it. A couple shout outs. Armando, Aaron Beck. We got Angie from Hollywood. We got Octopus. We got Yasix, Jamie M. I know people hate when you Grant. That's all, dude. Nurse Schmidt. Thank you guys for listening. And fast forward that. If you really can't take 15 seconds of shout outs, go fuck yourself.
What's going on?
Well, my new thing. Anytime anyone complains about anything, motherfucker, it's free. Mm-hmm. It's free. Weird and whatever.
It's free.
It's free.
I love it. Danny's, any closing thoughts, perspectives? You've been quiet.
If things happen in your 20s and you reflect on it in your 40s,
it's a bump.
It's the remembrance bump.
Call back. I love it. And I remember. I love it. Beckett, anything closing thoughts?
Go watch Top Gun 2.
This guy. I mean, I am. Would you see it again?
100%.
Let's do it. I love it.
I'm in.
Vicky, closing thoughts.
We need to bring back Tiki Tiki Timbo. It needs to be allowed to be read in schools again.
Tiki Tiki Timbo.
Tiki Tiki Timbo. Tiki Tiki Timbo.
I'm so Googling that. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I love it. Mr. Ponton, thank you. Woo! Man on the street, looking forward to next week. Weirdos, we do love you. This podcast doesn't happen without y'all. We love you all, and
Bigfoot is real.
No. I almost forgot. We cannot leave without our local artist of the day.
Yes.
Oh, I'm so glad I remembered that. Becky Sinn. She's going to be playing Avoidance.
Love that name.
I know you love it, Becky. A local artist, just so y'all know real quick, if you are a local artist, you write your own music, please send it in to me. Go Jason KVJ. I'm getting all of the emails you guys are sending me, so thank you. Or just send it to Jason Pennington, kvj@gmail.com. This is Becky Sinn. She's our local featured artist. This song is called Avoidance. Thank you, Becky. We love you all. Bigfoot is real.
Coming, consequences softly drumming deep within the reaches of my mind. Sleeping on my body taken, subconscious, my soul is shaken, haunted by the images that I find, and it feels like heaven is wasted upon me. Lord knows I haven't tried very hard. I cannot send you home. I cannot stand on my Day is coming, must ignore it. Sleeping, I'm much better for it. Avoidance is a comfort that I find.